Today we're going to do a prequel to the interview that's going to be forthcoming about your life and who you are. But today is really special, and I thought it deserved its own segment, and that is because we're going to be talking about what everybody wants to hear, what everybody's been asking for, and that is your alleged involvement in the 1994 quad that took place involving the legendary great Tupac Shakur.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, have you ever spoken publicly about this incident before this?
I haven't spoken publicly, but I have spoken to people. And I did do a number of articles, one with Source magazine and others. As a fact, when I did it with Source, it was with Kim Ozario.
Okay, so in the article or in the interview you did with Ms. Ozario, what was your position on this matter?
My position on this matter was that I did not commit the 1994 Quad Studio shooting.
Okay.
I stand on that.
All right. Why do you think people insist that you were the alleged shooter?
Well, I have a history of being a robber. I'm known for wearing fatigues, and unfortunately, I'm also a shooter.
Okay. So, was there any sort of relationship that you may have had with Tupac that would suggest or make him think that you were the guy? Because he put your name in the song and basically pinned you as.
The only thing I could think about is that someone saying that it was me, because I've never met Tupac Shakur in my life. I've never even been around him. So Tupac and myself, we've never been in the same location at the same time, ever. So the only thing I could think of is that it's my history, as well as someone saying it had to be this person because of something that I was wearing, or someone intentionally set me up.
Okay. When they portrayed you in the movie about his life, and I don't want to quote the name of the movie, but I know one of the movies you were portrayed by a Brooklyn actor. And when you saw that, you was incarcerated at the time, correct?
Yes, I was.
How did you feel about you being portrayed? I know a lot of people contacted you and was like, yo, Mano, because that's the actor's name and the rapper, portrayed you as the shooter in this incident. How did you feel about that, knowing you were innocent?
I felt terrible, to be honest. And the reason why is because it wasn't only my innocence, but it was the fact of who Tupac Shakur was.
Okay, and who was he to you?
To me, Tupac Shakur, he is and was the fruit of the Black Panther tree. He come from a family of people and a group of people who did everything in their power to save our people. They went out their way to try to make things more easier for all black people in America. And these were college students on the front line fighting for our rights and fighting for justice for us. So it hurted me because even a guy like myself who's in the game would know that to touch somebody like Tupac Shakur is a no-no. You don't violate that.
I asked you this before. When you were younger, and we're going to touch on that in the video, the interview I do about your life, who inspired you? And you had mentioned your father because he was in the war, but you also mentioned that you were inspired by the Black Panther Party. And that was why you started wearing or became known for wearing the militant gear, correct?
That's correct. Well, when we were young, you know, I'm a 60s baby. I was born in 1963. And there was a lot of conscientious things happening during that time. But for a young child like myself, one of the things that really stuck out was the Black Panther Party. And the reason why they stuck out to us is because they were always being mentioned, and they always seemed to be the people that was on the front line fighting for us. And I had family members actually who were Panthers. And from a young child, I wanted to be a Panther. And so that was something that I wanted, as well as a lot of other young men that were growing up with us before, you know, the contaminations within our community got hold of us.
Okay. And so I asked you that because I know it was profound to me when you first told me that, because I was like, why would anyone think that you would harm Tupac? And you really praised the whole movement that his parents was a part of. Like you said, he was the fruit of the seed, but they don't know that about you. And no one knows that, actually. So I just wanted you to be able to express that today in your own words. Because, you know, like they say, what's the motive? And then why would you lie about it? Because you are a pretty well-known stick-up kid from Brooklyn. That's your claim to fame. You just did it so well, and you protected your community at the same time, so you became like legendary status. But that's what Brooklyn guys were known for back then in the old Brooklyn. So in your own words, please, again, just break down what Tupac meant to you and why would you lie about it? Because you haven't been lying about anything that you've done in your history. You've always been a stand-up guy. So just break that down so we can put this to bed, please.
First and foremost, I don't have anything to lie about. Anything that I do, I stand on. But second, when it came to Tupac Shakur, I would not have never violated him because I loved his mother, his stepfather, Matula, Sudiati. It was so many, you know, individuals that was in that movement that I had a lot of love for. Growing up as a child, I really idolized, you know, Comrade George Jackson and his brother Jonathan, Johnny Spain. You know, there's a long history of individuals who fought and who were freedom fighters for us guys. And when a person, even when you're out in the streets, when you learn who these people are, what they truly represent, and the sacrifices they made for us, they become off limits.
And you mentioned his stepfather, who I believe passed, rest in peace.
Matula.
Matula, right?
Yes, Matula Shakur.
You were incarcerated with him at one point.
At one point, actually, yes. We were in an institution together, and Matula was trying to get me to the yard with them. I was trying to get to their yard, but I ended up going to Leavenworth. But I did get in touch with Wantani Tahimba, who was one of Matula's close friends. And we got together actually concerning the Tupac Shakur investigation, because we felt that, you gotta understand something, Panthers are individuals who have been through a lot in this country. And they know that sometimes when something happens, it's not always what you think it is or what you think you see. That there could be other hands that's behind things. So we came together on that Tupac investigation, and we actually started doing our homework and was accumulating different types of evidence so that we could compare different things in order to figure this thing out.
So without saying too much, because I know the investigation is ongoing, you know that by clearing your name, it leaves space to find out who was the real shooter. And when I say that, I was doing my own research on YouTube, and it's a pretty much, they got the guy. The guy came out and said who he was, this guy, Dexter Isaac, right? Have you heard about this guy, Dexter Isaac? What's
Yes.
your interaction with this guy, Dexter?
Actually, I've never known Dexter from the streets. I never even heard of Dexter, and I've been in the streets basically my whole life. But Dexter Isaac is an individual who is from Brooklyn. It's verified that he is from Brooklyn. When I was in Leavenworth Penitentiary, Dexter Isaac ended up coming to the institution. And while I was there, some friends of mine told me that there was an individual who would like to speak to me concerning some matters. So when I came, that's when I met Dexter Isaac. Dexter Isaac had told me that another individual that I knew as well as he knew told him to come see me and speak to me concerning the matter. So when Dexter Isaac spoke to me, we had a conversation, and we had a very, very in-depth conversation. And Dexter Isaac came clean, like he did come clean, and he said that he was responsible for that and a number of other things. But Dexter Isaac wanted to help me get out of prison at that time. And Dexter came to me and he told me that he can help me get out of prison if I can help him get out of prison. And I asked Dexter, when you say if I can help you, if there's something I could do to help you get out of prison, I would do it, but what are you speaking about? And Dexter told me that he needed my assistance in helping them get out of prison. And what he needed was cold case homicides. So when Dexter told me that, he wanted me to give him homicides to help him give to the government so that he could get out of prison. I automatically told Dexter Isaac that, yo, I never killed nobody in my life, and I don't know anything about no homicides. And I told him that if you're really trying to help me get out of prison based on the crimes that I was in prison for, just do it out the kindness of your heart. And when I get home, I will do everything in my power to help you get out of prison. But I explained to him that I'm not going to do anything to harm anybody else or to put anybody in jeopardy as far as working with the government. You know, I told him I'm a man, and even though I'm incarcerated for a crime that I didn't commit, I used to be a bad guy, and sometimes in life, that's just how things happen. You'll be in jail for something you didn't do, but what about the things that you did do? And he couldn't really accept that, because he was a really weak type guy. He was really desperate to get out. And, you know, he did a lot of crying about things that when you're a man and when you're a street guy, you don't really cry about. You know, us guys in the streets, even though many of us are unintelligent and we make bad choices and we're foolish when we do them, but one of the things we do know is that when you make a choice, you gotta live with it. You know, I'm happy that he did come clean and verify the fact that, you know, he robbed Tupac Shakur and was involved in that situation with the shooting, and that he came clean and told why he did it and how he did it. But I don't understand why people are still pursuing me.
That's what I don't understand.
But I have an idea why. For some strange reason, Dexter Isaac is not the person that they wanted to be. Because Dexter Isaac is really not a dude that's a gangster.
Well, also because Tupac literally said you did it.
Yes.
And
Tupac did make mention of my name.
I saw, because you know I'm the internet sleuth.
Right.
And I was watching on another program, his cousin, alleged cousin, that was doing an interview on this program, said that he heard that you did it, and he told his cousin, who was Tupac,
right,
that you did it. So I guess because he got that information from somebody that was incarcerated at that time, and he said he knew you, and he said he heard you did it. So he, like, if my cousin told me they know somebody that, and this know somebody, and the dude is with him and such, I'm gonna be prone to believe that. So I really would like to reach out to the cousin and get him on our show, because I want to know who told him that. Because this is a bunch of he say, she say. No one saw you do it, and you're saying you didn't do it. The other guy is saying he did it, yet everyone wants you to be this bad guy. And I think that after today, they heard from you out of your own mouth why you're not the shooter. The situation with the Dexter Isaac guy, you explained that, because he also had a whole different story on this podcast he was on, where he said that he came to you and pressed you about trying to say that you did something you didn't do, and he made you lock in. Did you hear that one?
I heard it, but it's a lie. Anybody that know me know I'm a stand-up man. Ain't nobody checking me in. Dexter Isaac said that because I exposed the fact that Dexter came to me and wanted me to help him put other people in prison. And actually, things actually flipped against Dexter. So all Dexter is doing is trying to assassinate my character, because that's the only thing he could do. Because there's nothing he could do with me on a man-to-man basis. But what he's doing is using words to assassinate my character and do everything in his power not to be exposed because of what he did. But even after he did that, you know, my thing was, we don't have to talk no more, because I knew I couldn't trust him, and I knew that he probably was, I don't know if he was wearing a wire or what he was doing. But one of the things that really, really hurt me is that he really didn't know what he did. And I'm glad that eventually he said it was weighing on his conscience, because I seen when Dexter Isaac said that, I believe he even apologized to Tupac Shakur's mother concerning what he did. And he came clean and said that he wanted to apologize to everybody concerning the act that he committed. But Dexter also told me something that bothered me. Anybody that know me and knew me from that time, you know that I was heavy in the streets. And there came a point when I ended up getting locked up for a very serious case, revolving around some law enforcement officials. I eventually got out, but I went to the music industry because I felt that, you know, I'm in prison and I'm watching guys like Sean Combs and people on television. And I'm watching it and I'm looking at it, and in my mind I'm saying, yo, this look like this could be a really lucrative opportunity for me. So when I go home, I'm going straight to the music industry, you know? And that's what I did. I came in with a little force, and I hurt some people's feelings. And I was in some people's way. And instead of the people just being man enough to get me out the way themselves, they figured out a way to take me off the streets. And they used some underhanded tactics as well as law enforcement.
Okay, that's deep. I also did a little more searching, and I found a podcast where allegedly 50 Cent is speaking about a situation with you, and he says that you apologize to Tupac's mom, to him. Is that true?
50 Cent may have mistakenly and misinterpreted what that was about. What had happened during that time was that when I was dealing with individuals who were a part of the Black Panther movement, I had spoken to them and I relayed the message that I wanted Afeni, Matula, and all those who were Panthers to know that I would never, ever, ever have violated Tupac Shakur. I believe Tupac Shakur was a prolific rapper, a freedom fighter, an individual who loved the people, and that he unfortunately made some bad choices. I believe that Tupac thought that through Thug Life, he was going to be able to reach a group of people that might not have could have been reached. You know, when I go back and think about the Black Panther history, it wasn't gangsters from the street that was picked to be Panthers. It was college students. These were people who had open minds, people who knew how to follow rules, people that was going to get up and go to school in the morning, people who loved and respected their community and their families. A lot of us guys that are from the street and who are considered gangsters, most of us go against the norm. Most of us throw our values out the window. And most of us turn on people, even people that we love and care about. And I think that Tupac Shakur was trying to resurrect, but he used the wrong individuals. The people that he was trying to help, he could have helped them, but you can't become one of them. It broke my heart to see Tupac beginning to act like a gangster, because he was better than all of us. Tupac was the individual that I felt would be the person that would save me down the line, because he was groomed and cultivated and he knew what it took to save a people. But when he got involved with that negative mentality and he got saturated with it, and it got to the degree that he was in too deep. He was in too deep. And I believe the only thing, the result was exactly what it would have been. And I say that to say that anybody, that if you're trying to save someone, save yourself, save your family, and save people that want to be saved. Don't think that you could come in amongst a group of individuals who are profiting off of the misery of other human beings and change their mind. You become the problem. You become the threat. And you'll end up being the person that they're going to try to figure out a way to get rid of. So as far as I'm concerned, Tupac Shakur, he's one of the most prolific rappers and one of the most prolific poets. And I think that he's an individual that so many people felt that even to this day, people dislike me because they think that I may have had something to do with harming him. I need you to know something. I love Tupac. I love Tupac. And I would not have ever harmed him because I knew what he represented to our future. The individuals who did do that though, I guarantee you, they living a terrible life and ain't nothing good gonna come out of their lives.
Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. I love this interview because now this matter can be put to rest. And I want to say, long live the great and talented, legendary Tupac Shakur.
Tupac Shakur forever.
Bebo.